Oh, hello. My name is Berkey Garte, and tonight we will be exploring Germany, a nation divided by the issue of foreign immigration and integration. We have all come to know the culturally rich Germany, a country who staunchly defends the political and social traditions that were united only 2.5 decades ago. But is Germany's culture and national identity at risk today from Muslim immigrants? This is 6 Minutes. Historically, Germany has never presented the ideal conditions to be an immigrant nation. However, since World War II, the nation has seen a large influx of immigrants. The overwhelming majority of these immigrants came from Turkey, spoke Turkish, and practiced Islam. While originally meant to be temporary workers following World War II, their presence became a permanent fixture in the economy and culture. Germans never fully welcomed the Turks, perceiving them as foreign competition. This competitive tension evolved over time, with Islamic extremist terror attacks, into a fear and even violent reaction to Muslims. One such is Mikhail Maytap, a 20-year-old, third-generation Turkish-German single child born in Berlin. Mikhail is the first of his family to attend university in Berlin, where he is currently pursuing a degree in engineering. So, Mikhail, you've obviously done well for yourself. I imagine it was difficult to assimilate with this purported gap between ethnic and non-ethnic Germans.
You really should have talked to my great-grandfather, but it's a complicated story. Back then, my great-grandfather was culturally very different from Germans. These differences, mainly ethnic and religious ones, funneled immigrants into ethnic enclaves that encouraged a solidarity and isolation amongst themselves. These neighborhoods, including the one I grew up in, effectively thwart integration because it's a closed environment that stops language acquisition and the overcoming of foreignness. And for me, it hasn't been too bad. There's definitely a collective persecution of Turks, but I like to think we've demonstrated we are an asset to not only the economy, but to the German culture as a whole.
But not everyone thinks this relationship is so harmonious. Hans Fischer is a 38-year-old politician for the German Freedom Party, a small, conservative party known for its populist economic and anti-Islamic rhetoric. So, Germany's below replacement level birth rates and aging population present a major dilemma for the nation's future. The only viable solution seems to be immigration and integration of foreign workers, which will come predominantly from Turkey. However, your party is diametrically opposed to the idea of attracting and integrating Turks or Muslims in general. Why?
Well, I would counter that Germans' economic well-being is not dependent on immigrants, but rather getting out of the EU, so we no longer have to bail out countries' failed economies. But I never said that I'm against immigrants. We Germans historically derive our national identity from our common heritage, language, ethnicity, and values. And well, immigration is not only the movement of people, but the diffusion of cultures. This means that the immigration of non-ethnic Germans into Germany is simply impossible.
Who will pay the pension programs, healthcare provisions, public education, and housing? Does not Germany need immigrants, even if they are Islamic?
We are the second largest exporter in the world and the leading economy in Europe. I think we will survive. And once again, I am not against immigrants. I simply believe that the hazardous components of Islam, which Turkish immigrants are bringing across the border, directly threaten German society. Forced marriages, honor killings, violence against infidels, the oppression of women, Sharia implantation, and gross intolerance and refusal to integrate can never be a part of the German collective.
But what if Muslim immigrants demonstrate cultural integration through the German government's classes and language acquisition and basic cultural knowledge in history, food, and the legal system?
As I said before, there exists a fundamental mismatch between Islamic and German culture that makes it simply impossible for the two to ever coexist. One study found that nearly 50% of Germans believe that the immigrants want to keep to themselves, and nearly 67% believe Muslims do not accept German values. I am not some far-right fringe extremist here. I represent the opinion of the German people.
Mikhail, do you practice Islam?
Yes, since birth.
There are many people in Germany who believe your religion poses a real threat to Germany's safety and culture.
My religion is my personal choice. Where and how I pray is between my God and myself. For those who cite fundamentalists as a representation of our entire religion are fearmongers. Extremism of any form is bad. I adhere to German laws and so do my Muslim friends and family. The fact of the matter is I'm about to earn a degree that I'll immediately turn around to benefit this country. I'll raise a family, buy a house, pay taxes, and contribute to my country. And if someone objects to that because of my spirituality, I won't lose any sleep.
But why Michael may not, many other Turkish and Muslim Germans will. Parties like Hans Fischer's organize mosque protests, lobby for segregated schools, and condone the growing number of violent hate crimes. These parties invoke nationalism and espouse economic platforms, trying to shroud an inherently racist agenda. How would you describe your identity?
I was born here. I'm a German citizen, I speak German, I've been in the German school system my whole life. Bratwurst is my favorite food, and I know the national anthem by heart, which not a lot of Germans can say. I don't know anywhere else besides here. It's my home.
The future of Germany and the global economy depends on the nation's ability to attract and retain foreign workers, like Michael and his great-grandfather. However, Hans is right. A large number of the German people are still predisposed to antiquated opinions, clouded by nationalism, but rooted in racism. How the country will respond looking into the future, you'll have to see next time. This from 6 Minutes. Good night.